WNBA, we thought it was going to happen. It was a fait accompli. We knew over the course of the year. And then tonight, as the draft continues to roll on here, 3 rounds, the very first pick of the WNBA draft is a pick that a lot of people saw coming, but still another incredible historical moment for the W.
In the 2025 WNBA Draft, the Dallas Wings select Paige Bueckers.
So UConn champion Paige Bueckers gets taken number 1 overall by the Dallas Wings. And look, before we get into the impact of Bueckers and what kind of player she is and where the sweet spot the WNBA is in right now, let me just say this, right? As a basketball fan, I really can't wait to see how this Paige Bueckers, Arike Ogunbowale backcourt goes next year, because the one thing Ogunbowale loves more than anything is shooting the basketball.
Yeah, no.
She is a volume shot. I believe she averages 22 points on over 19 shots a game.
Are they going to have to play rock, paper, scissors for who gets to be the ball stopper on a given possession?
And here's the thing. Look, because Paige Bueckers can play both. She could play point guard. She could play off the ball. She's probably going to wind up playing point guard. I assume that'll be her career path. But wow, Ogunbowale, just give me the ball, man. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give me.
Well, we certainly have proof of concept that Bueckers can distribute well, so she's got to be feeling pretty good, Ogunbowale. But that you're going to have a lot of wide open looks.
How do I get my shots if you take all the shots? Well, that's the thing. It's my team. I'm a WNBA superstar, so I get the shot. You pass the ball to me, and I take the shots.
No, I mean, she's going to get hers. I mean, Bueckers will get hers, but let's face it, the shooting and scoring thing is already out there for Caitlin Clark. Right? That role in the new and exciting WNBA is already taken. So why don't you become, the assist? Right?
Caitlin Clark led the league in assists too. So I mean, she did that.
But is that why people watch her? Is that why people remember?
I'm just saying she does that.
I'm just saying we got to figure out what you can be the best at.
Yeah. No, passing the ball to Arike Ogunbowale is what you be best at.
And then Angel Reese on the boards, rebounding her own shots. So, I mean, all of that plays out well for the 25-26 campaign.
Look, 2 things about this, because, it's a really big moment. We'll tell you why in a second. But first, everybody's going to expect Paige Bueckers to be Caitlin Clark, right? Caitlin Clark was the number 1 overall pick. We knew last year. Obviously, she's not quite the player that Caitlin Clark is. She's not quite the star. Nobody in the WNBA is the star that Caitlin Clark is. Paige Bueckers is a really good player, and she comes into the league as a star. She's terrific. But understand, if you're expecting her to come in and go, oh, it's going to be Caitlin Clark again. It's going to be Caitlin Clark. She's going to be making shots in the logo. Yeah, no, not quite Paige Bueckers. Paige Bueckers, a little bit different player. Again, not quite as dynamic as Caitlin Clark is. And clearly, maybe the more she comes back from her knee injuries and gets stronger, she gets into her 20s and, whatever weight training she gets on and her legs get stronger. But to expect her, I mean, she's going to be really good. But people are going to see, wow, number 1 overall pick last year, Caitlin Clark, great guard. Okay, yeah, great. That's not going to be what she is.
Well, but you're also coming in a year after this absolute tornado of press, of attention, of, the notoriety. Is she going to draw and sell out arenas to where, we should be playing at the bigger place? No. You're not going to have that fever again, but it is nice for the league to be able to have another star come in of that repute, of that history that we've been building, and we've certainly seen enough ads. We've seen a lot of the buildup. I thought it was cool that you had a number of the South Carolina players getting taken because, everybody, a few.
They go to the Final Four every year.
They got some short shrift in terms of, attention during the Final Four. So on draft night, you got the big contingent there. But the other part is, and this is the larger picture, there's been a lot of promotion of the global game from the WNBA side as well. Mm-hmm. You got 2 foreign players in the top 5. Let's go.
Yeah, first time a French
player
we got
taken that
high in 30 years. Look, if you're ready to lose weight, get the expert help at PhD Weight Loss. No injections or prescriptions, fast weight loss results. They work for me and Mike. They'll work for you. Call and schedule a consult today. Visit myphdweightloss.com. That's myphdweightloss.com. Now, you mentioned Caitlin Clark and other players, and this is what the WNBA, I want you to realize how rare the WNBA, something the WNBA has that hardly any other sports have except for the NFL, right? The NFL, for the longest time, why has the NFL been this huge monster ratings, television-wise? Why? because every year 5 or 6 new superstars come into the league organically. Some you get a little bit of hype behind. Some show up, hey, I'm great, right? And you get 5 or 6 new, and I mean superstars, coming into the league every single year, right? The NBA doesn't have that. The NBA sometimes it's, well, here's a 3rd overall pick. In year 4, he has really blossomed. They don't have the organic superstars coming every. MLB is the same thing, right? You get drafted, it's years before you make it in Major League Baseball. Of all the major sports, the NFL is the only one that every year say, hey, an organic superstar comes in, and then year 1, they become a star. Not everybody, but with the large draft, 32 teams, you're talking about 7 rounds, you get 5 or 6 new absolute super duper stars a year. This is where the WNBA is right now. They're in a sweet spot where obviously less teams now, you're talking about half the teams in the NFL, but it doesn't matter because now they're in a spot where every year it's a sweet spot. New superstars are coming into the league every year, multiple superstars. Go back last year, Caitlin Clark blows it up with Angel Reese and Cameron Brink, who barely played. Still, big superstar, right? Now this year, Paige Bueckers comes in. Haley Van Lith, who went from, boy, she's famous because she's getting roasted by Caitlin Clark in the Final Four to, here she is leading another team to the Elite Eight. Haley Van Lith, superstar. Juju Watkins is on the way. They are in such a sweet spot where these organic superstars are showing up every year, and this is when you're going to see they're not just going to grow. They're going to grow not arithmetically, but they're going to grow geometrically with how big of a bite they continue to take out of attention and relevancy. I mean, look, the W's made it, right? Caitlin Clark made the W last year. Now it's going to be, how do we keep it going? And as long as you have the organic superstars that are coming in year after year, that's going to be it, man, because you were last year, this year, next year, and there's going to be more players coming in. Like Flo J. Johnson said, I'm going back to school for 1 more year, so she's going to be out. So her and Juju Watkins most likely have to wait and see where her injury is at. But like you're seeing this sweet spot now where here's a league of under 15 teams where 3+ new superstars that people want to watch that are on TV all the time are coming into the league. This is an amazing time right now.
Well, but that's it. You've got captured the attention of the larger sports world, which means you've captured the dollars and the decision makers giving it another look. How many commercials do we see now? How much promotion for the draft was there? A lot more. The last couple of years. Merchandising sales, we see a number of teams have already sold out their season ticket packages. Part of that is because people want to see the traveling Caitlin Clark road show and those that follow. But this is where we get into the fun conversation of what college basketball once was on the men's side versus what it is for women's, is that we're getting the multi-year gestation of stars that become household names because we're more invested in the product. Part of it, it feeds each other. But this year, I think as a whole, you watch college basketball maybe a little tighter, right? Because you got in with Caitlin Clark, you got in with Angel Reese, whatever, and it falls to the neck. With the NBA product, who are the 2 rookies that we're talking about most? Don't connect it and Bronny James.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right? Reese Shea had a nice year. Stefan Castle had a great year for a team that stunk.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you go on down the line, and that's part of the other problem, is those guys aren't going to get a lot of national games because, well, they're bottom feeders. And once Wemby got hurt, anything that was scheduled for the final 4 months of the season went out the window. But I think the college product and being able to watch players grow and play, and we'll see how much the transfer portal changes women's basketball the same way it has men's. But, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, I'm just saying it certainly does take a little getting used to of once you get used to a guy or now a woman playing for your squad. It's like, wait, they're in a different uniform. Wait, now they're in their 3rd uniform in 4 years. But because of the current rules between the college basketball, WNBA, and how long you have to stay in school, you can get that name recognition and build, especially if you put a couple of Final Four runs together. The advertisers are going to find you. The face is going to be out there. The name is going to be out there, and away we go.
I mean, really, because if you stay in college, right? If you're in the men's game and you stay in college and you're coming out as a senior, it's Yeah, but he sucks. He had to stay till he was a senior.
But
now
it's a little bit of the decision point of, wait, was he going to be a first-round pick, right? Because that's what we've been talking about on the men's side for a long time of, all right, are you a first-round pick because you get your guaranteed money? Otherwise, you get into this weird spot, right? Finishing school, going and playing overseas, G League, or rolling the dice that you are one of the guys that cracks through as a second-rounder. Now it's like, wait, I can go back to school like Johnson, right? Logier Johnson decides to go back to school. She got probably a couple of big contracts that are going to pay her more than whatever the WNBA was, and probably close to a degree. Like all of those things where you're like, all right, the decision process, check these boxes. I'm done. I'm staying. But the other part might have been, I could be number one.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah, but I'm going to get paid. I'm going to do this. But eventually I'm going to the league, right? I'm going to get paid because, hey, I got to maximize this now because I got to one where you're making a lot of money because, we all know, hey, the WNBA salaries are low, but it's like, okay, you're going to get some sort of endorsement deal. And okay,
but how big are those compared to the college game, right? Especially if you're at an elite one of the 8 to 10 women's team.
I can make more money here.
I mean, we talked about it on the men's side. Rotational players, they're saying it's $500,000 per in the portal. So why would you go to the NBA if you have any questions about being drafted as a first rounder? So it all plays together, the billions of dollars at stake. But tonight, a huge night for the WNBA, crowning the next generation, and Dallas made the pick, right? There was a little bit of intrigue of maybe Paige Bueckers pulling an Eli Manning, at least according to some folks, a week ago. I think it was all made up so folks would pay more attention to potential chaos, but here we go.
Oh, exit. How about a Fresca exit Swollen Dome? The W, it's in such a sweet spot right now. And with the league being the size, it's a great size. Yes, expansion is great, right? Golden State Valkyrie is going to start playing this year. They drafted their first player tonight. But, the size it's at right now, every game, you're going to get a star player in. I mean, you can't say that in a lot of leagues. You can't say you're going to get star players a lot. You're going to get star players every single night. Stars that cut through that people want to see play. They do. The NFL and the WNBA are the only sports that do this right now. It's crazy.
Well, I would say this, just to compartmentalize it, because a lot of folks are either going to ignore it altogether or they're going to be naysayers about it, ratings, they lose money, whatever. The product's still out there. Product's still there to consume. What it makes, what it doesn't make, is not your damn concern. You either watch or don't.
The old Kevin Durant. You don't like it, don't watch.
That's it.
You don't like it, don't watch.
Right? I mean, if you want to ignore it, that's fine. People that gravitate to it will find it. We appreciate the game. We talk about it here because it is a growing piece of our sporting landscape, and we can find stars and celebrate stars regardless of where they're playing.